I'd like to speak to you briefly about the issue of suicide, and I know it's a very serious subject, and I know that people don't necessarily go to YouTube to watch serious videos. But, with the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why, and with a number of people thinking that maybe somehow children are being encouraged to go towards suicide as an answer, I just want to remind folks that this is not an isolated problem. This is something that goes through our whole society. And it's not simply about whether an individual has decided that their life is not worth living. It's that we, people in general, have lost a sense of the value of human life. I mean, think about it. At every layer, from children being killed in utero to old people being euthanized, in some cases with their own cooperation, and in some cases against their will. I mean, remember the removal of feeding tubes. I mean, all kinds of crazy things in which basically our society has moved down that trajectory that does not end well for any society, in which vulnerable people are being eliminated. If you look at the way in which children are treated as an inconvenience, and parents can't wait to get them out of the house, send them off to daycare, send them off to public school, send them off to camp, to the other end, where old people are completely unvalued and are dumped off at nursing homes and families don't want anything to do with them anymore. We're dealing with a profound lack of value of individual people and of human life in general. The other problem is that we have no sense of purpose. I mean, how many people do you know can adequately tell you exactly why they're on this planet, what their reason for being is, and what they plan to do to actuate that? Not very many people, right? I mean, if you ask an average person, what's your purpose in life, you'll likely get a kind of a shrug of the shoulder and, I don't know, make money, raise a family, be happy. That's not a purpose. Those are all, I don't know, side effects of having a purpose. I mean, you think about it. Where does purpose come from? Where does value come from? I believe that the value of human life comes from the fact that we were created in the image of God. This is an old concept. In Latin, it's called imago Dei. I've talked about it before. If you've known me for a while, you've probably heard me talk about it ad nauseum. But this idea that somehow in every single person, regardless of their age, regardless of their status, regardless of whether they are of their full mind or not, they are all created in the image of God and therefore deserve to be treated with respect and with value that life entails. If we do not treat others with that respect, if we are teaching our children that people do not have value, or if we treat those on the roadway as if they're just an inconvenience, get out of my way, if we treat the clerks at the supermarket as if they're robots, don't even look at them, if we treat our family members as if they don't have any value, how on earth are we expected to turn to our children and say, no, don't commit suicide. That's not the answer. It takes on that hollow ring that the old anti-drug campaign from the 1980s had. Just say no. You can't really expect to be able to have an anti-suicide message that just comes down to just say no without giving people a sense of purpose and without reinvigorating this idea that human life has value. I know this just barely scratches the surface, but I'd really like to engage you on this topic. Send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com, or call the studio line. I'm normally in the studio around noon every day. It's radiofreespeech.com.